right, the stream is rolling, so we'll see how that works. Hi. Hello, how are you? And, yep, starting stream health and whammo bammo. There we go.
Perfect.
All right, I am going to turn this part off here because we don't need to see ourselves moving around or anything.
No.
No. And I'm going to pop out the live chat, minimize that. All right, so the live chat is going. I don't think anybody's really going to watch us, but, you know, because they don't really know too much about the stream, so what the heck. But we'll figure it out after.
It just gives people like a YouTube notification, right?
Yeah, if they subscribe. So we don't really have anybody subscribing just yet. But
Okay.
this will hopefully help it. So, all right, let's get it started.
There is no escape.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest.
Another name you might know me by.
Starlight.
My name is Oliver Queen.
You'll be hearing from us.
From the strategic homeland.
Just call us Shield.
Beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
And here we go.
Excelsior!
Why, sure. Excelsior.
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 Yeah.
Geek Show episode 53.
The big 5-3. Getting closer to retirement.
Yeah, we've already said we're middle-aged now, so all kinds of good stuff the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And it's time. And we want to thank everybody that's been listening on iHeartRadio app. We appreciate it.
Our newest venture.
Yes. And we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, so far. I mean, the stats look good, so thank you for finding us there.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we try to trot along as often as we can and that. But, I mean, sometimes just the 2 weeks is, you know, what we can manage.
Yeah.
We've got kids. We've got wives.
Yeah.
They want to see us.
I feel like I've been busy, like, every weekend since, like, the middle of July. Like, my June was pretty free, May and June.
Yeah.
Like, so I was able to enjoy, like, the first, like, little bit of summer-ish.
Right.
And then July just got super busy. And August hasn't let up. We're approaching the end of August, if you can believe that, which is
God,
crazy.
That is quick.
And September right now is looking okay, but like every weekend there's like one little thing going on somewhere. You know what I mean?
All of my weekends in August were completely booked. I had no personal time whatsoever in regards to me wanting to work in the studio or doing any kind of personal project, ham radio, anything like that. So
right,
it was all family stuff. I took every weekend off from work, which is amazing for where I work.
It's
on my
amazing.
regular time job, my regular full-time job. That's almost unheard of. So, to the person that was doing my scheduling, thanks. But yeah, lots of cool stuff happening. We're recording on the Monday right after the season finale of episode 7 of season 7 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, big finale. Who knows at this point when we're going to see season 8? Because the news before this season even premiered was that we were going to end up waiting until 2019 for it.
That's crazy.
Which is a long time. But I mean, I don't know if you watched Westworld on HBO.
I haven't, but I hear it's really good, and I gotta watch it.
Great sci-fi Western craziness. Absolutely loved it.
You think that'll tide us over until?
Well, see, here's the thing: is Well, it might, if depending on how long we have to wait. Westworld came out in 2016. We didn't get any Westworld in 2017, and we're not getting the second season until 2018. So
Talk about teasing.
It is. I mean, that's the nature of HBO. They get fairly big name people to be on their shows. The writing is very in depth. The locations are not like your typical television shows. So I mean, it's a lot of organization and work to get these people to be able to be in these shows.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why. But as far as I know, the last update that I saw was all the scripts have been written and approved for season 8. of Game of Thrones, and now we just have to wait for them to be able to go into production and get the episodes done, and then we'll know closer to when we'll actually be able to see Game of Thrones Season 8, the final season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and then, I mean, and if you've watched the behind-the-scenes episodes, the little visionettes on HBO, they show you, I mean, they're going off to, like, Czechoslovakia, they're in Spain, they're in Scotland, they're in Norway, they're in all of these different places, and you've got all these different camera units, and now with Season 7, I mean, at least with the season finale, we've got everybody together.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit easier for them to do that kind of stuff. But, I mean, now they're going to basically break them all apart again.
Yeah.
So they're going to be different stories going on at different times and different things happening. So all these different film crews. So you got more, complexity to the production of getting these shows that we love made.
Yeah.
Because, you got to keep track of what this person's doing and what this person's doing. What shot is this? How does this tie into that? And, what's Daenerys doing that's going to tie in with Jon, and what's going to happen with Cersei and all this other stuff. And we should probably say, before we go any further, we are going to drop some spoilers for both Game of Thrones and later on we're going to talk about Defenders. So just as kind of a tease, see, HBO doesn't have to do it.
Right, we'll do it. We'll do it for them.
Well, yeah, we'll do it for them. But we are going to be dropping some spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you are watching on the live stream right now on our new YouTube channel, Geek Show Radio, you may want to pause and then go and watch Game of Thrones. Or if you're listening on iHeartRadio or you've downloaded from iTunes or wherever, don't go any farther right now. Pause it. Go maybe listen to another episode of Geek Show Radio or something else because we're getting ready to drop the spoiler hammer.
you like people spoiling things for you.
Yeah, if you're not worried about spoilers, then screw it. Stick around. Who cares?
I mean, there were some major things that happened on this episode of Game of Thrones. Yeah. I'm really, really looking forward to next season to see what exactly they can do as far as storytelling in 6 episodes. I believe that all 6, though, are going to be about an hour and 20 minutes, from what I hear.
Yeah, because this one, the season finale was what? It was
just under an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm like, surely it's over by now.
Yeah.
Oh, which was nice. I mean, they obviously filled in what they needed to fill in.
Yeah. I think that the biggest thing to come out of this episode of Game of Thrones is the confirmation of Jon Snow's actual
lineage.
Yeah, his we now 100% know that Jon Snow is not the son of Ned Stark. We already knew that.
Yeah.
But we now know who his father is.
Yeah.
His mother is Lyanna Stark.
Yep.
And we saw in the vision that Bran had that his father is Rhaegar Targaryen.
Yep.
And that him and Lyanna Stark were married, and in a secret ceremony in Dorne, where he had his marriage to Elia Martell, I think was her name, Elia.
Yeah.
So he had his marriage annulled to Elia Martell and married Lyanna Stark. So Jon Snow is in fact not a bastard.
No.
And I think that they said his name was Aegar Targaryen.
Aegar, yeah.
I think they said Aegar. I couldn't.
The key being he's a Targaryen.
The key, he is a Targaryen. But so think about when he was in the big hall at Dragonstone, talking to Theon, and he said he'll always be with you. You're a Greyjoy, and you're a Stark. Okay, and I think that was supposed to kind of ring true for him. Like, yes, he's a Targaryen. That's his lineage, but he's also a Stark.
Yes.
And he is also a Stark because his mother was Lyanna Stark.
Yes.
Ned Stark just wasn't his father, but I don't think he'll ever not see him as that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously he learned a lot from Ned. You could see that in the first, season with everything. He took care of, I mean, obviously Ned loved his sister. And he kept his promise to his sister. He raised Jon. He loved him like a son. Brought him into the family and everything, and here he is now, King of the North, and also heir to the Iron Throne.
I mean, come on. So we're learning, all of this in the midst of what is aunt and nephew boat sex going on?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew that it was leading towards that. As soon as Jon and Daenerys met up this season, you could see that there was some sort of chemistry there. Now, obviously, Game of Thrones doesn't tiptoe around incest. Targaryens made from incest. Jaime and Cersei, incest, maybe not anymore. But I don't know how I feel. I can't get excited for this relationship knowing that they are aunt and nephew. I think that that's still weird. I don't care if it's like a thing where he doesn't realize that he's the nephew. I mean, as soon as you do realize, you're gonna have to be like, "Yeah, I can't believe I just
like
did
a
that."
Luke and Leia moment from Empire,
right?
So yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, so Jon and Daenerys, they finally hook up. It's the end of the episode. Then that's where we're learning, because Bran is giving these details to Samwell, who shows up at Winterfell with Gilly. After she dropped that huge bomb about a whole annulment with Rhaegar and everything. So it is absolutely insane to me that the secret that Ned Stark was able to keep all these years from his best friend, Robert Baratheon, that sitting in Winterfell, I mean, obviously the safest place for him, was the heir to the Iron Throne,
right?
The son of a Targaryen.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. So this is going to complicate things
very much, I would think.
But does Jon want that? Does he want to lead the Seven Kingdoms?
I mean, he was kind of hesitant to become King of the North.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if duty calls him, I think he's gonna take the job.
I mean,
honestly, I think he would be a good ruler. I mean, he showed it.
100% agree.
Yeah, he showed it with being, commander of the Night's Watch, being King of the North. All of that. He's brought the wildlings south of the wall and had them join to fight the common enemy, the Night King. So I think he's far and wide better than the Baratheons have been, no doubt.
But I mean, it was like a lesser of two evils at that point in time. I mean, the Targaryens with, Daenerys' father, the Mad King, I mean, he was bad news. I mean, he was absolutely awful. And that, burning Ned Stark's brother and father alive, which is what provoked Robert's rebellion in the first place, was absolutely terrible. But, Robert Baratheon, he never wanted to be the leader of the seven kingdoms.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if they are able to say what they've been doing, break the wheel, and then kind of reforge it in a better way, which is I think was the idea behind what Robert was doing. He was trying to break the wheel, even though also he was just trying to get back Lyanna Stark, who he thought had been kidnapped.
Right.
But it was not the case at all.
Yeah.
She loved Rhaegar Targaryen. He loved her. They had a child. And now things are going to get real interesting in this final season of Game of Thrones.
Definitely. And then we have, with the death of, I can't remember the name of the dragon.
Oh, Viserion.
Viserion.
Yep.
Now being undead.
Yeah.
And the Night King being his rider.
Unbelievable.
We've got some bad mojo going down.
They brought down the wall at Eastwatch, and that was incredible. So, is Beric Dondarrion and Tormund, are they dead, or what happened there?
I swear to God, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like the wall fell.
Yeah.
I mean, they were running, obviously, and we see the wall collapse behind them as they're running. They've fallen. They're looking back, and they see a couple people fall. But then in the last scene, it's like a whole huge section of that wall just drops.
Yeah.
Because Viserion is just breathing blue fire.
Yeah.
Which I thought might have been. Well, here's the thing. I was thinking, because this is going to get a little bit geeky, but hey, Geek Show Radio. Come on. That's the name.
You guys knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, you knew what you were getting into. So in Dungeons and Dragons, which I have played since middle school.
Okay.
Here I am, coming up. I don't know. I'm not going to say middle aged, but a well-aged man. Let's say.
A distinguished gentleman.
A distinguished gentleman. Yes, I know what a D20 is.
Yeah.
But in Dungeons and Dragons, you have different types of dragons. You have red dragons, gold dragons, and all that. And each one has their own kind of breath weapon. Some have poison gas. Some have, actual, breathe fire. Some have a cold breath. That I was thinking, undead, Night King is ice. It's gonna be like a cold breath, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how do they get by? But now they've kind of switched it with, some kind of blue fire.
Yeah, is it
like a forest breath or something like Cyclops's?
I have no idea. I was really curious about that because it's not fire, because fire they really have to tread lightly around that, because fire is what would kill the undead, and the dragon would be undead. He would breathe fire. He would just combust, and that would be the end. So what is that? Whatever it was enough to bring down the wall.
Yes.
So it's some sort of magic, I would say. So as they said, when they built the wall, it wasn't just a giant wall. Also, like, spells and things were forged into it to keep the White Walkers away. So whatever they did just undid that wall and whatever was going around with it. Unless the theory is that, when Bran had that one vision where he saw the Night King and the army and the dead, and the Night King touched him.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that is what led the Night King to be able to go across the wall, but I don't know. But they were also able to bring that white down to King's Landing and cross the wall with it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been able to cross the wall, but I don't know.
Something is very much changed.
Yeah.
In that regard, and now we have to kind of figure out what that is.
They are on their way, man, and it is going to be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the final scene, as you can see, basically them looking, the camera looking south as the army, the undead army, just walking through what's left of the wall, and you're seeing the white and snow and everything, and a lot of symbolism there with Jaime leaving King's Landing, to fight by Jon, because he made that promise.
Yeah. And
as he's leaving, it's like there's snow. There's never been snow this far south.
Right.
What's going on?
Well, let's talk about that for a second with Jaime and him leaving and heading what I would assume is north.
Yes.
So the beginning of the episode and everything, everyone is gathered at King's Landing in the Dragon Pit, which is a very cool scenery.
Yeah.
And Cersei, she, they show her. They show her that the dead guy, the white, comes right at her. They demonstrate how you have to kill it, how it's basically something that is unkillable, and anybody who dies can be turned into one. And she answers that by saying, okay, I will fight you as long as I get allegiance basically pledged to me by the King of the North, Jon Snow. And he says, I can't do that because I already have pledged my allegiance to Daenerys. And she says, okay, cool, no deal. I'm not going to back off with my armies or anything like that. See you later. And starts to walk back. And immediately they're like, well, what the hell are we going to do now if now we are going to have to worry about fighting the army of King's Landing, the Lannister armies and stuff like that, as well as the Night King and his army of the dead coming from the north? Like, what are we going to do? And that didn't sit well with Jaime. He knew exactly what he was getting or what was happening. I thought it was like kind of that moment between him and Brienne of Tarth.
Yes.
Yeah,
where Brienne basically took Jaime's outlook on Westeros and the whole situation with the Seven Kingdoms and basically turned it around, and he started to see the cracks in Cersei's armor and what her plans were for Westeros and for her children and their children and everything else, being the king and ruling. And now here's we got zombies coming after us. Walking Dead coming after us. I don't give a damn.
Right.
I mean, so I think we're kind of seeing that. I kind of equate her to the Mad King.
Absolutely.
The Mad Queen. I think she's going to end up getting the title the Mad Queen.
Big time. Well, I mean, she already did what he wanted to do.
Yeah. She already burned the septum with everybody in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's nice to see that Jaime does have the clean head on his shoulders, because then Tyrion comes in. Whatever he says to Cersei after that "you're pregnant" moment, that swayed the battle or whatever, comes back out, says, I'm going to give you a truce, we're going to go north, and we're going to fight these undead people. Then they start making their plans to where the Lannister armies are going to head
Yep.
and who they're going to be aiding and
Yep.
everything like that. Jamie's making his plan, and she's just like, no, 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 no. I just said what they wanted to hear. I don't care about what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, and just like, I thought all of a sudden, okay, cooler heads have prevailed. Now we're going to get it. And Jamie's like, no, like, we have to save the world. What are you doing? And she's like, I don't care. Let them kill each other, and then we'll rule the world. And his whole thing is, there'll be nothing left.
Exactly.
You know, once
Exactly.
whoever wins that fight is then going to come here where we're going to be depleted, you
Yep.
know? So I thought that was it for Jamie because she gave the Mountain
Yeah.
the order to kill him.
Yep.
I mean, I thought he was going to start walking by and all of a sudden you were just going to see a head come off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Yep.
just like a sword right through the middle of
Yeah.
him. Something like that.
Yeah, I was expecting
You
that
know?
too.
But nothing.
Yeah.
Sir Gregor stood there with his sword out.
Mm-hmm.
He was ready to go, and Jamie called her bluff. He said, "I don't believe that you'll give that order to kill me." Called the bluff, and he just walked away. The next thing you know, you see him. He's getting on his horse, and it starts snowing, and you know he's headed north.
Yes.
But headed north for what? And what now? What's going to happen? I feel like what's going to happen with Braun, I feel like Braun is going to end up joining him at some point,
Yeah.
like because it's madness.
Yes.
But he's kind of somebody who's always been out for himself. But
Yeah.
that was it, man. That was the end of Jamie and Cersei.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's it.
That chapter is now closed.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Braun, I agree because I mean you saw as everybody's walking to the dragon pit, and everybody's just kind of having their little conversations, their side conversations in the moment. Tyrion and Braun, who were basically, they were basically like, frickin' frack.
Yeah.
Whatever analogy you want to use. They were good friends. I mean, they were. You could do a buddy film with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously there's still that respect between those two. So I agree with you. Braun's probably going to go with Jamie. He and Jamie were kind of friends. I mean, they actually had a working relationship. They understood each other. They were okay with each other.
Well, and they both know what's coming.
Yeah.
Because they both faced it in the battlefield. They know
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to beat somebody who has a dragon.
Yeah,
let alone now
Yeah.
two dragons on with her.
Yeah.
That's just it's an unwinnable fight,
Yeah.
and it's an unwinnable fight against the dead. You know?
Exactly. So I mean, yeah. So I can't wait to see, everybody together. It's going to be one of those, that big. It's almost like an Avengers
Yeah.
kind of moment there. So that we've been waiting
But
for.
what happens at King's Landing now?
That-
Now that he's gone.
That's
and
true.
Her whole thing is she's got this big old 20,000 group of hired guns from Essos. Like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, that's great. But what are they going to do for you?
They're not going to do much.
You know? So, it makes me wonder, like, where the allegiance of the men of the Lannister army will lie. Will they
Right.
lie with Jamie or will they lie with the crown? Because I feel like for as crazy as Tywin Lannister was, I just feel like he wouldn't be making these same decisions as Cersei.
I mean, Tywin Lannister was very calculated. He had plans.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was doing. And Cersei just seems like she's kind of going, she's just rolling with the moment.
Yeah.
She doesn't know, it's not like, it's not like, with everything, all the old school folks.
Yeah.
They always had a plan. They knew what they wanted to do, how to do things.
She just thinks she can buy everything and manipulate everybody.
Exactly. It's not going to work for her. So I predict we will see Cersei dead next season.
I think you're gonna find her dead, and I think Jamie is gonna be the one to kill her.
You think so?
I do. I think it's gonna be. I think it's very telling what he was. So he couldn't go through with the order to slaughter everyone in King's Landing.
Yeah.
So he killed the Mad King. He got the name of the Kingslayer. It's followed him around everywhere.
Yeah.
No one lets him forget it because he took an oath.
Yeah.
Well, he's not part of the Kingsguard anymore, so I just feel like it's going to end up being Cersei, or Jamie that kills Cersei at the end when she's trying to give some crazy order.
Yeah.
I just see that is how it is playing out.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you. I think that's what's gonna end up happening, and he's gonna get, you know, it's kind of gonna. I think that it'll erase that whole Kingslayer.
Yeah.
That thing, and
I don't think that he makes it though. I think he kills her, and then somehow he ends up dying too. I don't think he makes it.
I think he's gonna.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I think are not going to make it to the end of Game of Thrones. I think you're gonna get Jon, you're gonna get Sansa, you're gonna get Arya. They're all gonna make it. You know, obviously, I think Daenerys is gonna make it. I don't think Jorah is gonna make it. You know, Beric Dondarrion is probably gonna go. The Hound probably gonna. Well, I don't know. Maybe the Hound will survive and go off and live in the wilderness and just be grumpy, which would be fine with me. We could do a spin-off with him.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
He just says the C word
all day.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I'll watch it. What else? I mean, there are quite a few people that I don't think are going to make it through it. I don't think that it's going to be happily ever after for Grey Worm and Missandei. Something is going to happen with the Unsullied while they're fighting. There has to be that, you know, it is an army of dead. It is an unbeatable army, and I think that you're going to have major losses next season to wrap up the story the way that it should. This isn't Star Wars. This isn't all happy, and all the heroes get to party with the Ewoks at the end of the movie.
Hey, I mean, Rogue One...
Right, I think
it's
you're
going to be more like Rogue One.
It's going to be more like Rogue One, except for you're going to see some of the main characters survive.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be, obviously, there's some pretty big conflict that's going to happen because of discovering who Jon is, his true lineage. I think that's going to be tough for him to wrap his head around. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, in that whole thing while they're well, you can't really say they were knocking boots because they were totally naked, but still they were rocking the boat.
Yeah,
you know?
They were literally
with Tyrion kind of outside the room down the hall.
Yeah, what was going on with that?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if Tyrion kind of knew who Jon really was. He had figured it out, or he had heard from somewhere. Or maybe Tyrion just has a little bit of a crush on Dany.
I don't think so. I think he is someone who just has so much respect for her. I don't know what was going on there. He's just kind of like standing there watching, seeing what's happening.
A little bit of perv.
A little bit of perv moment. That's what I got out of it.
But I mean, the first 3 seasons, all we saw was him in a brothel.
Right, exactly.
So, all right. Well,
I mean, Tyrion has become one of the characters that you really, really want to root for on Game of Thrones, and I think it's been that way since season 2.
Yeah, I want to see. I'm hoping Tyrion makes it through. I really do, because I love his character. I love Peter Dinklage's character. He's so good. He's so multifaceted. And it's just awesome.
Yeah.
So, but 2 other stories that I wanted to touch on too, subplots I should say, is number 1, Littlefinger is done.
See you later, man. And that was great. That was just so great.
I mean, they had me there going with the whole, Arya and Sansa, with the back and forth and all that kind of stuff. I really thought something was going to happen there, but then, as soon as the door closed and Sansa read the charges, I was like, wait a minute. Arya's not very she's not, I mean, she's chill, but she's a little too chill.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden we turn over and there's Lord Baelish. There's Littlefinger. He's like, how do you answer these charges, Lord Baelish?
See, that was the thing too. I mean, that is what he thrived on, and it's like what Bran said to him when he said chaos is a ladder. He got as high as he could climbing the chaos ladder.
Yeah.
And it finally came back to topple him down because he was just, manipulative, and the lies, and he just ended up messing with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And
so obviously you don't want to mess with Bran Stark, because
oh God,
he'll warg your ass.
He's the type of guy that you come out of the bathroom, what were you doing in there? Nothing. And he's like, I know what you were doing in there. I know what was going on, and you did not spray the Lysol.
Yeah. You didn't wash your hands.
Yeah, you definitely didn't wash your hands either. You gross human.
You're really going to eat that sausage now like that?
I just wonder what else is going to be happening with Bran. Clearly, he knows a lot. He's got to be the guy that comes to be. There was the scene in Beyond the Wall, which was episode 6, where Beric Dondarrion had pointed at the Night King and said that there is another option. We can just kill him. He made them all. We kill him, and we kill we kill them all. Yeah. Like he goes down, everything else goes down with it, right?
Yeah, I was kind of curious why they didn't do that. You know, in episode 6.
Well,
it was like, you know, there he is, dragon.
No, it's the same reason why, you know, the Eagles in Lord of the Rings don't just drop Frodo off in Mordor, throws the ring into Mount Doom, and heads back to the Shire.
We got to keep the story rolling.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, it's a Superman complex. You know, Superman should never be able to be beaten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can beat everybody. So you have to make his opponents almost as equally unbeatable. And like, you know, so it's a really tough thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't envy these writers, but they have kept my interest and they have made me love this show. So just keep going with it and don't let me down in the final season. I want all my questions answered. Why is that dagger so important?
Yes.
Let me know. Besides the fact that it was used to, you know, cut Littlefinger's throat. That was pretty awesome.
That was, So Littlefinger is dead.
That chapter closed. And it was such a badass killing, too.
Yeah.
Little Arya just walks up, slice.
And he went,
goodbye, neck.
And he went weeping like a little bee. Biatch.
Yep.
He's done. Now, the other one that really got me was Theon.
Mm-hmm.
He finally decided to.
He was no longer Reek.
Yeah, he was no longer Reek. He kind of found his man parts again.
Yeah,
essentially,
figuratively, but not literally.
Yeah, not literally.
They gone.
They're gone. But still, he went and basically now he's going after his sister to get his sister back. He's won the confidence of that group of Ironborn that survived the attack.
Yep.
From the Iron Fleet.
Yeah. And
now it's so now we're gonna get Theon going to get his sister back. And then he's gonna have to basically face his sister after he ran away, a coward. He admitted it. He goes, "Yep, I'm a coward. I was a coward. Not anymore.
Yeah,
I've found it. I found where I've got to be, and I've got to do this."
And he's doing it on his own with like 20 guys.
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of guys on that beach.
Yeah, so I think we've I think we've definitely seen the turnaround for Theon now, and we'll.
He's another guy that I don't think makes it.
You think?
I think his redemption is sacrifice.
It's his sacrifice.
You know what I mean? I think he's gonna end
an honorable death.
And it could be something where he sacrifices himself to save Yara, who then can go on to rule the Iron Islands and be a actually decent ally for anybody because she's got a clear head on her shoulders.
Yes.
But you saw that she had a clear head on her shoulders from the moment that Theon rode north and took Winterfell.
Yeah.
It was a non-calculated move. She didn't like it. It didn't make any sense. We were people who thrive from the ocean. There's no ocean near Winterfell. So, I think that she's going to be a really good person that needs to survive.
Yes.
But Theon necessarily, I don't think has to. I think that his road to redemption leads to self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
Knowing self-sacrifice.
Right. So it's going to be an honorable death.
Yeah.
That redeems himself to Yara and the rest of the Ironborn, as well as everybody else that finds out what happened.
I think it's a suicide bomber mission where he takes out his uncle.
Yep.
Because man, Euron has to go. He's just the worst.
Yeah.
He's just awful. Just awful.
He's bad.
So bad news. We don't know when Season 8 is going to be out, but Season 7 is wrapped up, and absolutely enjoyed. I enjoyed every single episode.
I did too. It was really good. I was there was a few points in there where I was really riveted to the screen, and I was like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?"
I was never more stressed out than watching that Beyond the Wall episode. Never more stressed out.
Well, when I'm watching the wall drop, I'm like, oh man, this is bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Too.
Yeah,
man,
so-
poor Tormund, man. That guy needs to catch a break. He
I
needs a
know.
vacation. He needs to go to Dorne or something when all this is said and done,
Yeah.
and just relax.
He's got to chill.
Just go relax.
Yeah.
Dorne is nice. The ladies
Nice
are pretty.
nice
just
and sunny.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
well, he
definitely.
probably just wants to be. Actually, his idea of a beach is probably just some cold rocks and Brienne of Tarth. So maybe that's what he needs.
in a armor bikini.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. Yeah.
or full armor. I don't think
do you think he and Brienne are gonna
No.
get together? You don't
No,
think
I
that's
don't
gonna
think
happen?
Brienne of Tarth has any interest in Tormund at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah. All right. So
I think he has some interest in her, but I don't think that
That's
think
not gonna
it's
happen.
Not shared. Not shared.
yeah. All right. Well, I've been rejected before. I know what it's like.
Sorry, Tormund.
I'm with you.
Just keep going out and killing things. You're good at it.
Yeah. You'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we pretty much wrapped up Game of Thrones. So
Yeah.
now we'll put that aside till season 8.
At least until we get some details.
At least till we
on
get some
season 8.
details. I'm sure we'll get some rumors and all that. We'll talk about it here on the show.
Mhm.
But the other thing was The Defenders
Yep.
on Netflix. I didn't even realize. I seriously totally forgot about it until I logged into Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was at work. I was on my lunch break, and I saw somebody watching something new on Netflix because that's one of the things at work. We just watch Netflix or just kind of chill and
Yeah.
talk. But yeah, I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I saw something that looked like Kristen Ritter. I'm like, oh crap! Today's Defenders Day.
Yeah.
So I jumped. So I didn't watch it right then, but as soon as I got home that night, first 2 episodes done,
Yeah.
and then I did a couple more episodes the next day, and then a couple more the next day, and I finished it up in about 3 days.
Yeah, I think I was 3 or 4 days. I really enjoyed it. It made it a lot more enjoyable, the fact that it was only 8 episodes. And the
pacing was a lot quicker because usually
Yeah.
we get the first few episodes are usually kind of slow because
Yeah.
they're establishing and all that, but this time just right. I mean, episode 1 was kind of established, and then everything else, boom.
Now, here's my only thing with Defenders is that to most people, and you and I both enjoyed Iron Fist and everything.
Yep.
I'll say it wasn't as good as the
Yeah.
other shows.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it enough. I thought it was a little weird that Iron Fist was like the focal point of the Defenders, since he was. Well, and I think that they had to get to it, whether or not his show was as good as the others or not.
Right.
I think that was the game plan all along. I think it just made it weird that it wasn't like that he was the main focus of it and everything.
Right.
But I thought they did a really good job of combining everybody together, because obviously not Jessica Jones or Luke Cage's cup of tea with this mystical stuff that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but the Defenders got to come together and work
Yeah.
together to get things done. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought that Jessica Jones was probably one of like the best part of it. Just her humor,
Yeah.
the lines that she had,
Yes.
the storyline. I like seeing that she's like this tough person, but deep down she actually cares about people.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, she still had the and all the little funny bits.
Yep.
With her. I mean, she had some really good, like on the subway. They're all trying to get away from the Hand and the cops and everything else, and they're sitting there on the subway, and there's a drunk laying on the bench
Yeah.
across from them with a 6-pack of beer,
Yep.
and she's just kind of looking, and then she just grabs one and just sits there and starts chugging it, and then Luke is on one side and Matt's on the other, and they're just looking at her, and she's like, "What?"
Yeah, I know. I know.
Well, it's a tough week.
It's her that is her whole character, and I think that they did a really good job. I thought that they did a great job taking all of these people with very unique themed shows.
Yes.
And combining them into one show without losing any of that.
Yeah.
But also having them all work together. I thought that it was really, really good.
Yeah.
During the beginning, I actually thought that Daredevil was kind of the most boring aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
But as it went on and on, I thought that he got a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
But man, it was really good. The whole everything with the Hand, like,
Yes.
did not see that coming when they bring back Elektra.
Yep.
She's the big bad. She's Black Sky and everything like that. So she's, the Hand's secret weapon until she kind of discovers that, who she is.
Yes.
But then she still ends up, being bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, at points in the comics, Elektra was leader of the Hand anyway. So, I mean, it's not like her and Daredevil hadn't faced off
True.
in the past.
Yeah. And Sigourney Weaver was really good.
Yep.
And we got to learn a lot about, the Hand and how everything worked. With,
Yep.
With like Madame Gao and
I like it's that they were like original members of the Hand who had discovered that if you had used the substance, which I assume is like something extracted from like either dragon bones or dinosaur bones or something like that it would give them eternal life. But I think that at the same time that meant you had to kill those creatures.
Yeah.
Which seemed that it was like they exist in Kunlun, but they don't exist outside of Kunlun anymore.
Right.
If you kill them, you have to that's the only way to get it. And I don't think that the rest of the people of Kunlun could did it, therefore banishing them, and then they, starting their own faction, the Hand,
Yeah, and obviously over the course of time, they ran out of that original elixir. So essentially, and it seemed to me that stuff, I guess there's a shelf life because it seemed to be getting less and less potent for them. Then
they used it all up to bring Elektra back.
Yeah. So I mean, that was it. They were dead.
Right.
Done.
I mean, the only thing that they had to fear was death, and they ended up fearing death because they didn't have their special juice to bring them back to life anymore.
Yep.
So, but I did not see it coming when Elektra kills Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yes.
Was it Alexandra? I think her name was
Alexandria. Yeah.
Alexandra. When she kills her, I did not see that coming at all. I thought for sure that Sigourney Weaver was like the total big bad, but that was incredible.
Yeah,
that was incredible, and I like that they kind of just did it. It reminded me a lot of what happened in Luke Cage when Black Mariah killed Cottonmouth. Like, it's just like you don't see it coming because you have in your head who the villain is, and then when that villain is then killed by somebody else who then takes the place that is even worse.
Yes,
you're like, oh damn, did not see that coming. Not at all.
And I mean, and they had told us that this was going to be like a shorter show, and it wasn't going to be like where they're going to be, well, they had kind of, I don't know if they did you get, I remember reading somewhere that they were going to have the Defenders come together again. This was going to be like a one shot.
Yeah, well, I don't think they have any. I don't know if they have anything planned. I'm fine with it if it is a one shot, and then if they kind of want to interact within each other's shows now that they're aware of who they are and everything.
Because I would love to see that kind of stuff happen now that you can. I mean, because we had Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and then we had him in his own. So now we can. I like the aspect where everybody can be kind of together, and we had all the supporting people, together. They kind of knew who each other was, and together and all that, and they were in on the secret. So, because I mean, obviously, when you think about it, how can these heroes do everything they do by themselves? Because they can't.
Right.
They're. I mean, at the end of the day, they're still human somewhat, and they just. They can't be everywhere at once. They got to have some kind of backup that can do a lot of that stuff.
Exactly. And I think one of the bigger things that happened in Defenders was Matt Murdock finally realizing that he can't have two lives. It has to be one life, and he has to choose. Does he want to be a lawyer and he wants to help people, or does he want to use his abilities and help people in that way instead?
Yeah.
And, and it's like, do you have this life where you have loved ones and people that you hang out with and you can unwind at the bar and everything, or, are you using your abilities for the greater good to save people on a daily basis?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that was the big moment for him of realizing that he needs to be Daredevil.
Right.
It can't be I need to be Matt Murdock now and Daredevil later. It's they are one thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Same exact thing that happened in the Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
When he realized that, he's not Peter Parker and Spider-Man. They are one thing, and then he needs to, work together.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yes.
What else did I find interesting? I just wanted to say that if there was an impending attack on New York City that was going to destroy it by some evil, immortal ninja organization, I'm just going to say, and this is the classic comic book problem and everything, That would have been a great thing for the Avengers to get it on. I'm just
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You know, you have a whole
I think it's
a
still
city.
in their pay grade for that.
You know, Sokovia,
Yeah.
nowhere near as big as New York City. The Avengers go ahead and assemble, but I mean, you know, New York City in danger. Avengers just kind of like chilling, not doing anything.
Well, I mean, did they really know that it was in danger? I mean, a ninja organization, seriously, is not very public. Obviously, it's
Right.
not very outgoing with that kind of stuff. To them, it just looks like regular street crime that the cops take care of. Or you have, you know, a group like the Defenders, and I think we're going to actually see more of those, you know, lower level groups now. Maybe we might see some more of that coming together. But I mean, I would, yeah, I this opens up a lot of possibilities now for the Netflix series. But then we have to kind of wonder what's going to happen in regards to Netflix, simply because Disney now, who owns Marvel, is pulling out of Netflix. All the Star Wars stuff and all that is coming off of Netflix at some point.
Well, I think that with the Marvel shows, I think that they are tied to Netflix.
Yeah.
They are produced by Netflix with Marvel.
Yeah.
So I don't think that if I'm going for a Disney app, I'm not really looking for Daredevil and Jessica Jones and stuff. I'm looking more for the Disney movies and maybe the cartoon shows for a kid to watch. I mean, obviously the Marvel movies will probably be part of that Disney thing, but I really don't see those Netflix shows going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think it would end up hurting them at the end of the day, because people aren't going to pay for a subscription to a Disney service. You're just going to get piracy, and nobody wants that. But just keep them where they are.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I mean, I'm gonna wait and see what happens, because you know, as a big Star Wars fan, I do wanna support the franchise where I can. Which was, I mean, I loved that they had, you know, Clone Wars on there. I was hoping that Rebels, they would put Rebels on Netflix so I could rewatch all the episodes.
It was on there.
I never saw it.
I know Rebels was on there because I saw it when I was scrolling through one time. I don't know if it's still on there, and that could be because I think they have a big push for people to watch things as far as those shows go on their on their apps.
They got the Disney XD app. Yeah,
exactly.
So
which I don't believe is extra, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you got it. Well, you have to have it's not extra.
You probably have to sign in through your provider. Or something
exactly.
Like that.
And
Gotcha.
because I don't have technically a provider, because I use over the air and I use streaming, for my entertainment, that kind of stuff. I'm kind of out of luck on that. Yeah. So, but who knows? I mean, I would be willing. I would definitely be willing to subscribe to a service that gives me enough stuff that I think it's worth it. So Netflix I thought was worth it. Hulu really didn't give me what I wanted. I mean, because you were paying like $10 a month and you were still getting freaking commercials.
Right.
That annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm paying you guys $10 a month and you're still shoving commercials at me.
Right.
I pay Netflix, you know, $10 a month. I don't get a commercial. So I know it's possible. And Netflix is making money hand over fist. They've got original content as well. Hulu has got some original content, but they're also recycling stuff from broadcast television.
Yep.
Giving us access to all that stuff. But honestly, if I want to get, if all my favorite stuff is on one particular channel, I'll just subscribe to that channel's stuff. I could care less. I mean, and if they're not giving me commercials, even better, because I'm paying a subscription. I'm paying for that feature. That's what I want. So, I mean, that's my rant about streaming services. Hulu, you suck for giving me commercials. I don't care what you have on there. I pay you $10 a month. I shouldn't see a commercial. Netflix, you're doing a good job. Yeah. I hope you work it out with Disney so we can keep the Disney stuff there.
Yeah. Well, I think their movies will be gone, but I think the Marvel stuff will stay. I think the Star Wars stuff will stay too, because it's not like Disney proper, like they own them. But I think that we're going to keep those on Netflix.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm a little worried. I want to have access to all my Star Wars. I mean, I've got all the movies.
Yeah, I own most of it. It's just the TV shows.
Yeah, and that's something I'll probably really invest in at some point too. I mean, hell, I've even got the two made-for-TV Ewok movies on
Oh,
DVD.
okay. I used to have those on VHS.
I've got them on DVD.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to borrow it, you're more than welcome to borrow it. I'm sure Logan would. I don't know. Is Logan into Ewoks?
Oh, you know, right now he's mostly just into Puppy Dog Pals and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. So
Okay.
we'll have to see what happens. I've tried to put on. They have like the Star Wars Lego show that's
Yeah.
on. I'll try to put that on, and he'll look at it for a minute. But you know, there's not enough.
It's not as visual.
Yeah, it's not. There's not as when he's just over 1 now. So
Yeah.
I think that he's got to be a little bit more visually stimulated.
Yeah.
He's not really listening to the dialogue or anything. So.
I mean, Catherine, I've gotten Catherine to. I mean, she'll watch the first few minutes of a Star Wars movie. You know, the opening crawl, the opening action, that kind of stuff. She's fine with it. Clone Wars, she seems to do a little bit better with. She sat down with me and we've watched a few episodes of Clone Wars because I guess there's enough action in
Well,
it
yeah.
to keep her entertained. But she's more Daniel Tiger
Yeah,
than
exactly.
anything. You know?
Exactly.
So what are you gonna do? But
We'll have to just wait.
yeah, we're raising them right. Catherine said Chewbacca the other day.
Well, that's cool.
So I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah, and Logan likes to eat Cheez-Its and olives, so he's in my wheelhouse for snacks.
Cheez-Its and olives.
Not together, but he likes those
I
things.
was gonna say that's a
yeah,
little
it's little sandwiches.
little sandwiches.
Yeah.
Slice the olives in green or black olives.
Both.
Both.
He likes them both. He likes all things salty.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
You gonna sneak an anchovy in on him?
I don't know if he could handle that. That would be pretty crazy. I don't even want an anchovy.
Me neither.
I'll take the sardines though.
Yeah,
I'm
there you
gross
go.
like that. But he did say the other day we went grocery shopping. I brought a bag and I had a box of Cheez-Its in it, and he goes, "Cracker, dada, cracker, dada," because he knows that those are mine. But he wants them too. So he was basically handing me the box, asking me to open it and give him one.
So you got to tell Vera basically to buy 2 boxes now, one for him, one for you.
Exactly.
whenever
When
she
it's on
does
the BOGO or the 2 for $5, just get the 2 boxes.
grab them.
That's it.
Just grab them. So all right. So we've covered Defenders.
Yeah.
We've covered Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up next? We got
Inhumans.
Inhumans.
And Thor Ragnarok in November. Oh, and Justice League in November
League.
too.
And then we've also got Star Wars in December.
Right, exactly.
So
We've got some good things coming up.
We
But I
do.
think what we got, the next big thing is going to be Inhumans, and now we're going to have to see how well they do this.
yes,
I think that I'm a little nervous. I don't.
there has been
know,
some
man.
talk.
Yeah.
There's been talk. Oh, there's been talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm very nervous about Inhumans, so we're going to have to see how that goes.
Yeah. But what were your thoughts? Based on the trailer that we saw.
I think it looks like a very average sci-fi television program. Not the Sci-Fi Channel, but a science fiction television program. That's what I think it looks like. Very average. Nothing stands out to me. I think that it has some really great people in the cast. But I just right now, I don't know. I'm very, very hesitant to watch it. I enjoyed. They did, and Inhumans is supposed to be kind of like the same thing as Agent Carter was, like a smaller series that doesn't take as many episodes or anything like that. And I really enjoyed Agent Carter, but I knew exactly what that was. With Inhumans, are they going to have people from S.H.I.E.L.D. in it? Is that, is there going to be some sort of crossover?
Yeah.
How does it fit in with the rest of it? It's all things that we're going to have to wait and see, but I'm very skeptical.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing really jumped out at me either with Inhumans. So I'm kind of wondering. I mean, I'll watch the first couple episodes to get the feel for it. If it's something that drags me in, I'll definitely watch it. I have yet to watch another episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I know a lot of people said it got a lot better.
Yeah, I loved this last season. Out of all of them, I loved this last season the most.
All right, so I think what I'm going to end up having to do is I'm going to have to power through what's there and get back into it, because I mean, I basically stopped watching after the mid-season after the thing on the other planet.
Okay. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah. So I mean, we got to that mid-season finale or whatever, and then after that, and I just and I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stay away from it for a while. It lost me. So I'll give it another go, and we'll see how that works out, and kind of go from there. Because I know a lot of people are saying it's really, really good now. So.
This last season was great. I honestly think that what they should do for this coming season is prep it to be the last one and just go ahead and
end it.
Get rid of it. We don't need it anymore.
Because they're not doing what I was hoping they would do, is where they would tie in the TV series with the movies more and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just that still bugs me.
Yeah.
So, but what are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Yeah, there's really not much you can do. So, but I think that pretty much wraps up everything we've got.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, if you want to listen to more Geek Show Radio, of course, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on Podcastpedia, we're on Blueberry, we're on iHeart Radio app now. So if you have an Amazon Alexa or Amazon Echo, like I just got from my in-laws, you can listen to the show on that.
Oh,
through your iHeart Radio.
Even fancier.
Yeah, even fancier. So you can do it all up.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, also check out the website, xjockalbanyny.com, where you can go and you can read some of our blog posts as well, and all that happy, fancy, good stuff. And our new YouTube page for Geek Show.
Yeah, where we're streaming.
We're streaming live. We're doing it right now,
yep.
So you can actually watch us as we're doing all this stuff. So
cool.
Go check it out, and we will catch you next episode. Stay geeky.